The first people who go to Mars will never come home, not because it's impossible, but because it isn't worth saving them. People talk about going to Mars like it's a road trip. A long one, sure, but still something you can come back from. A few years away, then home again. But the truth is much darker. When the first humans leave Earth for Mars, they are not leaving on a round trip. They are leaving forever. Not because we don't want to bring them back, but because Mars makes coming back almost impossible. Mars is not just far away. At its closest, it's about 56 million kilometers from Earth. At its farthest, it's more than 400 million. There are no rescue missions, no emergency launches, no help. If something goes wrong, the fastest anyone on Earth could even reach you is months away, and that's assuming a rocket is ready, fueled, and aimed at the exact place you happen to be on a planet that never stops moving. But the real problem isn't distance. It's what it takes to escape Mars. To leave Mars and return to Earth, you need an enormous amount of rocket fuel. Not a little, not something you can just pack. You need tens of tons of propellant just to lift a small crew off the surface and push them into orbit. On Earth, we get that fuel from massive refineries, pipelines, power grids, and factories. On Mars, none of that exists, so the only plan anyone has is to make fuel on Mars itself. This is called in situ resource utilization. The idea is that astronauts will use machines to pull carbon dioxide from the Martian air and water from the soil, then use chemical reactors to turn it into methane and oxygen. That fuel would then be used to launch them back home. But here's the terrifying part. We have never done this at human scale. Not once. Not ever. The machines that would have to do this would need to run perfectly for years in freezing temperatures, extreme dust storms, high radiation, and near zero atmospheric pressure. If even one part fails, if a pipe cracks, a seal leaks, or a reactor jams, the fuel production stops. And if the fuel production stops, you're stuck. No fuel means no launch. No launch means no return. You don't get to try again next year. You don't get another shipment. You don't get a second chance. Mars is so far away that if your return system fails, Earth cannot help you. You simply wait until your oxygen runs out. And even if the machines work, there's another problem: radiation. Earth is wrapped in a magnetic field that blocks most of the deadly radiation from space. Mars has almost none. That means every second you live there, cosmic rays and solar radiation are punching through your DNA, damaging your cells in ways we still barely understand. Over time, this increases your risk of cancer, organ failure, and neurological damage. It degrades your immune system. It damages your blood. It alters your brain. By the time a Mars crew would be ready to return, their bodies may no longer be fit for deep space travel. They would have spent years exposed to radiation levels that would never be allowed on Earth. The return trip itself takes months, trapped inside a thin metal shell with almost no protection. Some of them would not survive the journey back. And then there's the gravity. Mars has only about 38% of Earth's gravity. Living in that environment causes your muscles to waste away, your bones to weaken, and your cardiovascular system to change. Even astronauts on the International Space Station, who are in orbit for only 6 months, struggle to walk when they come back. Mars settlers would be in low gravity for years. When they finally tried to return to Earth's full gravity, many of their bodies would simply not be able to handle it. Their hearts, bones, and muscles would fail under the weight of a planet they no longer belonged to. They wouldn't just be visitors to Earth, they would be aliens. And then there's the part nobody likes to talk about: money. A single Mars mission already costs tens of billions of dollars. A return mission would cost far more. You would need massive rockets, years of preparation, and entire launch systems dedicated just to bringing a few people home. From a cold economic perspective, it makes no sense. Once people are on Mars, it is far cheaper to leave them there than to bring them back. Earth's governments, space agencies, and corporations will not spend hundreds of billions of dollars to retrieve a handful of settlers when those resources could be used to send more people, more equipment, and more infrastructure to Mars instead. At some point, the math becomes cruel. You are no longer a traveler. You are a colony, and colonies don't come home. Mars will not be a place we visit. It will be a place we send people to build something that can never leave. The first humans on Mars will know something no one else in history has ever known. When they look up at the sky and see Earth as a tiny blue star, they won't be looking at home. They'll be looking at a planet they will never touch again. No oceans, no rain, no forests, no air, just a distant light in the darkness. Mars won't kill them quickly. It will let them live, just long enough to realize they are never going back.